Welcome, everyone. I was muted. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am excited. I am excited, y'all. I am excited yet um, a little emotional, right? And a little emotional because here where I am in the city of Toledo, it has been a lot of, well, more than what I would like to um, think about. I'll say it like this: a lot of murders that's going on, a lot of women being murdered. And so, my heart is heavy. It was placed on my heart to do this series, right? So it's 21 days, but I'll be going live once a week. But I'll be giving you assignments, things that you can do in between the time, right? And so again, as a licensed therapist, I have been working with a lot of individuals on relationship counseling, marriage counseling, just really learning how to cope with this thing called life, right? And cope with the different events and experiences that we may have. And one of the things that I'm realizing is that a lot of people don't know how to cope, right? And so today I'm going to go over with you. And I always start, whenever I teach, I always start with a particular formula because the formula is the foundation on which I will be laying everything on, right? So we have to be able to understand what's actually going on with us, right? And why we find ourselves being depressed, why we find ourselves being anxious, why we get raged and ready to kill someone, right? We have to start off with that foundation. So before I continue, I definitely want to send my condolences to anyone who have lost loved ones at the hand of another human, right? And so definitely sending my prayers and condolences to you. Please take a moment to share share this. Yes, please take a moment to share um, this broadcast, right? And I see you. I see you, Brittany. But I want you to make sure you have something to write with. Make sure you have something to write with, because for me, my whole motive, right? My whole thing is to teach you, right, how to teach you how to not just manage your emotions, but really take control of your life, right? Where you don't feel like you have to be sitting at my seat, you know what I'm saying, or in my seat or in front of me. And that's that whole thing of teaching you how to fish and not just giving you a fish, right? And so I definitely want you to write, have something to write with, really get prepared, y'all, because again, my heart is heavy. My heart is really, really heavy because people just don't know. Like for real, people really, really, really just don't know. Okay. And so, again, this whole series, you've heard it takes 21 days to break a habit. And I'm in the comfort of my own home. Again, my name is Lashana Alfred. I am a licensed independent social worker. And I have my own private practice behavioral health agency. And right now, I've been focusing a lot on relationship counseling and helping individuals manage their own emotions. But with this particular broadcast, I'm going to be teaching you how to, again, manage your emotions and really cope with this thing called life. I'll be coming on once a week and I'll be giving you assignments to do in between that time. And so, again, leave comments, ask questions. I will go through the slide and I will take the time here and there to answer any questions. Okay, so here's the question. So it says, so here it is where it's like, okay, I don't know why I did it, right? I don't know why I did it. Whatever that it is, right? I don't know why I stayed in it longer than what I should have stayed. I don't know why I hit this person, why I destroyed their property. I don't know why I did it, right? So if you ever been in that place where you're like, man, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. I just don't understand, right? You're definitely in the right place, because I'm going to be really teaching you the power of self self-control. Okay. And so, like I said in the beginning, I always start off with this formula. And I start off with this formula because it is the foundation, right? Really helping you understand what is actually going on. So, when we're going to be going over today, the events, thoughts, feelings slash emotions, behaviors, and ultimate results. Okay. So I'm gonna leave that on just for a second because I want you to really get this down. And even when I'm going over this with individuals in my private practice, this is a hard formula to follow, because what I need y'all to understand is you're actually rewiring how your brain processes information. Okay, so it's events, it's thoughts, it's feelings slash emotions, behaviors, and results. Okay, so when we're talking about events, events are those things that's out of our control. People hear me, those things that are out of our control, right? This is why this is very important, because we were never, and I don't know about you, but I know I wasn't taught that. I wasn't taught that. It was like if somebody did something, even if we go back to slavery days or even with our parents, if we did something wrong, then they beat us. They whooped us, right? Because the whooping symbolized, I'm going to change your behavior, right? I'm going to control you. And so oftentimes this is what's happening. We've learned that if I hit you, right, in fighting or whatever the case may be, then that's what's going to actually control a behavior that I don't like. That's going to make you get in line. And so when we're talking about relationships, people would think just because we're in a relationship, I have some form of control. And so I can beat you into subjection, or I can, manipulate you, or whatever the case may be, in order to control you. And so when we're talking about events, we're talking about things like death, breakups, loss of jobs. These are things that's really out of our control, right? Like you're not in control of whether or not someone decides to leave the relationship. You're not in control of whether or not you lose a loved one. We're really not in control of whether or not we lose a job. So understand this formula right here. And so I'm breaking it down one by one. Okay. And so understanding events are what's out of our control. You cannot control, even when we're talking about our children, another human being. Pay attention to that. Thoughts. This is where I come in at, helping people really understand the power of their thought, the power of their thinking, the power of the mind. So this is what's in your control. So I want you on your paper, whatever you may be writing with, I want you to begin to identify some of the thoughts that you've been having lately. Okay. Things like they're trying to play me, right? Things that we tell ourselves. So when I'm talking about thoughts, things that you find that's going repeatedly over and over in your mind. So they're trying to play me, or what's wrong with me? I don't want to be alone. I can't do this. Why am I here? I don't have anybody, right? Those different things that keep going over and over and replaying in your mind. I want you to write that down on a piece of paper. Okay. So this part right here, the thoughts, this is what's in our control, although at times it feels like it's out of our control. Pay attention to that. Feelings and emotions, right? So these are triggered by our thoughts, not the events. These are triggered by our thoughts, not the events. The reason why we try to control events or another human being, because we believe that human being or that event is actually controlling our emotions, right? So if I'm angry, if I'm sad because of something that you've done, I'm trying to change what you've done. But I need to help you understand that it's not the events that's actually controlling our emotions. It's our thoughts that's controlling our emotions. Okay, because most people challenge me on this. It's our thoughts that control our emotions. Okay. So if you have a sad emotion, an angry emotion, depressed, anxious, happy, peaceful, it's because of a thought that you're experiencing. All right. I'm going to break it down. Just give me a second. I just want you to kind of gather this information first. Pay attention. So, behaviors, what we tend to do as a result of our emotions, right? So I'm angry, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, right? So now we begin to either cry, fight, we isolate, maybe murder, suicide. So these behaviors is as a result of our emotion, not the event. Okay, I hope y'all following this. Result of our emotions. So these behaviors, when we break out someone's window, when we find ourselves in fights, when we find ourselves, ready to hurt somebody, kill somebody, this is a result of our emotion. I need you to be able to see this. Okay? And then the results of our behaviors: jail, death, breakup, or loss of a job. So these are the consequences to some of the decisions that we make. This is, again, why this formula is so important, because people get so caught up on trying to change the event. So I need y'all to see this. I need y'all to really see this. Here's the question I have for you. Where are you going? Where are you going? Like, look at this. Where are you going with all this baggage? With all this baggage. I mean, we carrying around fear, we carrying around hurt, we carrying around, past traumatic experiences, we carrying around all this stuff. And the question is, where are we going? And who we going to? And who do we want to help carry, all this stuff? So we're carrying this stuff, expecting someone who carrying their own baggage to care for us. Can y'all see that? And so in this process is helping let go of some of this baggage. Because with this baggage, we're going in hopes that somebody will help us, right? Someone will love us. We begin to tell people, the last thing from the trauma from the last relationship, hoping that you won't do me the same way. Pay attention to this baggage that we carry. So here's the step. Step 1. Let it go. Listen to your inner longing. Here's the homework. Listen to your inner longing. What do you really want? What has been your pattern? And what have you been telling yourself? I want you to write this down. Listen, you have to be the author of your life. Like you can't expect someone else to come in and take control over your life, right? And so again, the assignment is for you, and I'm gonna go back to it just in case you didn't get it. The assignment is for you to listen to that inner longing. What is it that you want? What do you really want? What has been, the pattern of behavior? When you think about the different relationships that you've been in, what has been the pattern, right? Has it started off really good, and then all of a sudden things got crazy? Do you fall in love easily? Like, do you lose yourself in this relationship? Do you lose yourself in this relationship? What do you mean at this point, I don't think I want it? Elaborate a little on that. Because the thing, do you lose yourself? I want you to, because again, this is about healing and understanding how to manage yourself. And so what's scrolling down at the bottom, ladies, take your man back. The man stands for mature, assertive nature. Mature, assertive nature. I wouldn't dare go live to teach you how to get somebody back that is no longer in your life, right? So no, we don't do that. Because here's the thing. If I got to go chasing you and fighting to get you back, I don't need you. I'm good. I'm good. So this lady, take your man back. The man stands for mature, assertive nature. And the reason why it's saying take it back, because we lose ourselves somewhere along the line in this relationship, right? Trying to hold on to somebody that we probably should have let go 30 months ago, right? 4 months ago. And so in this process, okay. Mm-hmm. Right. So here's the thing, right? It's like, okay, yeah, I don't want anybody to carry this load with me, right? So now it's like, okay, but I don't even want to carry the load, right? Like, how do I drop some of that weight? How do I drop it? Because the reality is, it's real heavy. And I get people that come into my office, man, and it's like, okay, man, I don't know why they ghost me, or I don't know why, they treat me like this. And I'm like, listen, y'all, rule number one, you don't want anyone to love you more than they love themselves. Got it? You don't want anyone to love you or even think that they love you more than they love themselves. Because if they love you more than they love themselves, when you do something, because they don't understand this formula, when you do something that hurt them, so they think, right, then they'll be ready to take you up out of here. Right? Understand the formula. I'm going to go back to the formula because I need y'all to make sure. I need to make sure y'all have this. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Need y'all to understand this formula. Right here. Events, thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors, results. So if you're with someone who's loving you more than they're loving them, if you do something, which is the event, because they don't understand how to control their thoughts, they get emotional and then they're ready to hurt you because they really don't care. At this point, they're like, okay, if I can't live my life with you, then we're not living our lives at all. If I can't live my life with you, then we're not living. You see how they made a decision for both of y'all? If I can't live life with you, we're not living. That's too much power. I don't want you loving me that much. I don't want you thinking you love me that much. Pay attention. Pay attention. Because on this journey, I want y'all to commit 21 days. 21 days. I'll be coming on once a week just to give you the assignment. But if you don't practice it, if you don't, implement it, then you can't, like, for real. If you want to see change, change does not happen by chance. It happens by choice, right? You got to make a choice to do something different, right? And so I'm going to be literally sharing with you the tools, helping you understand and identify some blocking beliefs that you may have that keeps you in a toxic or negative relationship loop. This can be an intimate relationship, work relationships, peer relationships, so pay attention to it. What is that thing that seems to be repeating, a repeated cycle in your life, right? Do you find yourself in and out of relationships? You can't hear? You saying you can't hear? Joy, can you hear?
I can hear. Yeah, I can.
All right. Turn your volume up, Brittany, or something. Or did it just go out? I'm not sure. But
Yes.
really pay attention. Really pay attention to what's going on, preparing for this upcoming year. I started off last year or the beginning of this year saying you don't want your 2022 to be a repeat of your 2021 as it relates to how you've been thinking, what you've been focusing on. And so again, y'all, we don't know. We don't know who will be crazy and deranged enough to come up on us and try to take our lives because of whatever they may be telling themselves. Oh, they think they too sweet, or they think they this, they think they that. It's all about what they're thinking, right? And so pay attention, because the consequences is not worth, right, temporary circumstances, because emotions are temporary. I know it feels like it's forever, but emotions are temporary. So really pay attention to the messages you're telling yourself. So the assignment, here's the assignment again. I want you to look at and write it down. Pay attention. What happened in that last relationship? How long was we together? When did I fall in love? How was it that I'm so easily, open to just falling for people? What am I longing for? Right? Like, you got to ask yourself these questions. This part has little to do with anybody else. It has everything to do with you. Every single thing. Everything to do with you and what you're telling yourself. Here is the formula. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why you can't hear. Um,
Yeah, I can.
yeah, I'm not sure. Let me see. So here's the thing.
Yeah,
Okay. So
we hear.
Brittany, I'm not sure if it's your volume, what happened, but other people are saying they can hear. Thank you for posting that. So here's the thing. Your healing is about you. You don't need permission to heal. Your healing is about you. Every day, I want you to tell yourself, I owe me my healing. Every day, I want you to tell yourself, I am determined to heal from past trauma. Every day, I want you to tell yourself, I will not love anyone more than I love myself. Every day, I need you to tell yourself that. So when you ask yourself and you say, okay, well, how do I do this? Right? Like, I don't know how. Listen, this is what I'm teaching. I'm showing you the how. I'm teaching you the how. The thing is, you got to be brave enough to apply it. Because as we're going on these 21 days and you still say, I don't know how, it's because you're not applying what I'm teaching you. You're not applying it. Right? So that's the thing. Because we all start off not knowing how. Like, I didn't know how, y'all. And I'm saying to you, you don't have to be in prison in a different country to learn. You don't have to be on your deathbed or sick in the hospital to learn. You just have to open up and plug in to someone who know. And the reason why I'm saying I know is because I once was lost. I was once in that place where I didn't know. Like, literally, I just didn't know, right? Because I didn't have nobody to really teach me and take my hand and actually help me navigate through this thing called life. I used to think I can beat stupid out of people, right? Because I thought events control my emotions. Nobody told me that it was my thinking. Nobody told me that I was locked in a negative thought pattern until I was physically in prison. So my whole body had to be locked up for me to recognize that I was locked up in my mind. So a lot of you are behind bars, not physically, but mentally. A lot of you are locked and loaded with a negative thought, pessimistic type of thought process. And so for these 21 days, and listen, y'all, 21 days is just to get things started. Right? And if you apply these things, you'll begin to see the changes that you're seeking. Okay? If you apply it, you'll begin to see the changes that you're seeking. So here's the assignment, right? Remember, we're doing this. Your healing is about you, right? No one is coming to do it. Like, I can share all this information, but if you don't apply it, I promise you it's going to do nothing. You got to practice this. So here's what you're going to do from now to next Sunday. You're going to listen to your inner longing. That's going to require you to be still for a little bit. Listen to that inner longing. What's going on? What do I really want? I want you to write it down. Don't get so busy that you don't take the time out for you. Don't get so busy taking care of kids. Don't get so busy, taking care of another man's business. Don't get so busy doing all that stuff that you don't take 20, 30 minutes to do some things for you. Okay? And so I want you to notice, also write down, what have you been telling yourself? I need you to write it down. Do not just sit there. I need you to write it down. Don't just leave it in your mind. I need you to write it down. Okay? So I want you to really listen to it. Because as humans, we all have this need to belong. But listen, baby girl, listen, baby boy, listen to this. I do not want to belong somewhere that I'm just tolerated. Not today. Either you're going to celebrate me or I'm not in that circle. Just like if you're in my circle, I want to celebrate you. So we're not going and just wanting, because we have this longing to belong, that I'm just going to settle being in any type of group, knowing they talking about me. Knowing that they're not lifting me up or encouraging me. No, I'm not doing that. So I need y'all in these 21 days, make up your mind that you're not going to be so thirsty to be in the presence of other people because of their title, their prestige, you know what I'm saying? Maybe their last name, all that crap don't mean nothing. They money, that means nothing. If at the end of the day, you're being depleted. So make up in your mind that for these 21 days, it's going to be about you. If it's not, be selfish. If it sounds selfish, I want you deserve to be selfish. If you are one who's been taking care of everybody else, making sure everybody else is cool, you can be selfish for 21 days. Pay attention to the negative or blocking beliefs that you could be telling yourself that it hinder you from committing to yourself for these 21 days. I tell you, you don't want anyone loving you or even think that they love you more than they love themselves. That goes the other way around. You don't want to love anyone or think you love anyone more than you love yourself. Because the reality is, if I don't love me, I can't love you appropriately. If I don't love me, I can't love you appropriately. Watch how this manipulation works. Here it is, I'm loving you more than I'm loving me. So I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm sexing, I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm doing it in the form of manipulation because I'm really trying to control you because I don't want you to leave me. After these 21 days, I promise you, after these 21 days, you're going to be cool. You're going to be cool when they come and you're going to be cool if they leave. I promise you. You know why? Because I'm going to teach you how not to lose yourself in any relationship. In any relationship, the key factor in relationships and why people be so devastated is because they lose who they are in titles. They lose who they are in being a wife, in being a husband, in being a mother, and being, the boss, right? They lose themselves. And I'm like, okay, but wait, can you just be Lashana? Right? Can you just be Joy? Can you just be Estrell? Can you just, like, for real, take off the titles? Like when I say, okay, I'm an author, I'm a teacher, I'm a, counselor, all that crap really don't mean nothing. I'm Lashana at the end of the day. And if Lashana don't understand who she is, when those titles drop or if anything happens, I'm going to be lost. Right? I'm a wife, I'm a mother, but at the end of the day, I know who I am outside of that. And it took me going through a series of processing. It took me because, again, I had to rewire how my brain processed information. Again, I would get in fights because I thought my fighting was going to change a person's behavior. No, it was just unnecessary fights. Many of you are getting in fights or finding yourself in stuff because of what you're telling yourself. So listen to this. Again, it's a formula to this, right? It's a formula to it. And I keep going back to it because I need y'all to understand. Because here's the thing. We taking all this baggage We taking all this baggage into somebody else's life who got a bunch of baggage, and we want them to do something with our baggage, and they don't even know what to do with theirs. Y'all see what I'm saying? So before I really can get in a healthy relationship, y'all, before I got married, I promise y'all, listen, hear me. Before I got married, I was single for at least 5 years, celibate. Right? Like for real. Because you know what? I wasn't thinking about, a man. I wasn't thinking about that. I was so focused on my personal development. I was so focused on making sure that I got this thing for real, this thing called life. Right? And so again, I used to listen, y'all. I fast everything. I would fast gossiping because I didn't want to be rude. Somebody come to me, try to talk to me about stuff, and I'm like, okay, wait, I'm on a fast. That seemed to be more adjustable than, girl, don't be talking to me. So I would say I'm on a fast. Sooner or later, they realize, okay, you know what? Let me not tell LaShawna. Right? And so as you begin to change, you want to communicate with those that are close to you and let them know that things are about to shift in your life. Don't just shift and then get mad because they don't understand. When you've been teaching them how to treat you all this time, now all of a sudden you get mad because you're changing and they're still doing the same thing. So you got to make sure you're communicating to kids, to spouses, or friends. Let them know you're on a 21-day journey. Okay? Let them know. You're on a, yes, honey, yes. Yeah, bleeding on people who didn't even hurt. Yes, ma'am. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to heal first. We got to heal. Because now, watch this. When we're talking about relationships, right? We'll get in a relationship and manipulation. Watch how we manipulate. And we'll start telling them about the previous relationship that we was in hopes that they don't hurt us. No, baby. When you heal and when you understand this formula that I'm just teaching, that I'm going to show you these few weeks, when you heal and you understand this formula right here, I promise you, no more manipulation. No more manipulation when you heal. You get it? Because guess what? You will recognize other people's behaviors, which is the events, can no longer control your emotions. You know why? Because you're going to change your thinking about other people's behaviors. Right? So watch this. Watch this formula. Here it is, the events. The events is other people's behaviors, life situations, things that are out of our control. You're going to literally, on these 21-day fast, it's 21 days, you're going to literally be focusing on your thoughts about the events. So what that looks like, right? What that looks like, it looks like, okay, because normally the emotion is heavy. The emotions seem to come first. The emotions don't come first, but you feel it because we are human. We feel things, right? And so here it is where something happened. You get agitated. You get angry, right? You get, irritated or whatever. I want you to pause and you're going to say, why did that just irritate me? What thought did I have? Well, she's stupid. Why did she, whatever you tell yourself. Then I want you to say, okay, you know what? Is that my business? Right? Like, am I surprised? Because when people show you who they are, you want to believe them the first time. Okay? The first time. So again, what's scrolling down at the bottom, Ladies Take Your Man, is a book that I published, and the man stands for mature, assertive nature. Mature, assertive nature. We lose ourselves in relationships. And so this whole process is designed to help you regain and gain a better understanding of who you really are outside of being a mom. Some people have been moms, parents, since they was 18 years old, right? Since they was 16, and it's like, man, so all you know is, man, how to be a mom, how to, taking care of my family, taking care of other people. I'm saying for these 21 days, commit to taking care of you. Okay? Commit to taking care of you. All right? So in between this time and next Sunday, I want you to complete the homework. And the homework is for you to write down the pattern. What has been your pattern in relationships? What is that thought, that thinking loop, right? How you think about things. When people walk in or out of your life, do you find yourself personalizing things? What's wrong with me? What did I do? Am I good enough? I want you to ask yourself, just sit down with you and start writing this stuff out. Okay. And then next week, I'll show you or teach you what to do with that stuff. But let's get it down. Let's get it on paper. Y'all, if y'all have babies and I said this was going to be geared towards ages 21 to 35. Now, this applies to all of us, right? But the reason why I said 21 to 35, because I'm noticing that age group trying to get in relationships and don't understand how to control their emotions is really a thing, right? And so if you have babies, that's 21, if you have cousins, nieces, that's in that age range, make sure you share this with them. Y'all, I get paid to do this. God put this on my heart to do this and come here and be committed to doing this, to help you guys through this for 21 days free. Some of you may need to reach out to a therapist, a licensed therapist, to really process, go deeper, but at the end of the day, if you commit to these 21 days, I promise you, your life will be different. How you see the world will be different. Because before things changed in my life, my thoughts had to change. The way I was seeing things had to change. All right? So y'all have your homework. Any questions or comments? I am here for a couple of minutes. If I don't see any questions or comments, then we're going to end it. But I want you, share this with your nieces, your nephews, because listen, these people that's making these rash decisions, they got family members, they got loved ones, right? And so if you have a friend, a loved one that's in some type of, toxic situation, you noticing that they don't know how to manage their emotions. You're having a hard time managing your emotions. I'm telling you, share this live with them. Share this information. Okay. And so if we don't have any questions or comments, I want to make sure that I give y'all time. Yes. All right, sis. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm giving y'all time. But again, I'm committing to making sure I'm sharing this information because I promise y'all, I wish somebody would. Y'all know what I had to go through? Y'all know what I had to go through to get this? Like for real. I wish I had somebody sitting down, and maybe they did, and I was just too out here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to make sure I'm reaching. Like this is airing on YouTube, on my other Facebook group, on Twitter, so I'm just I'm just trying to like reach, because I know like the domestic violence and people losing their lives over, an individual who's unable to control their emotions is high. And it's not just in the city that I'm living in. And so our goal is to reach as many people as possible, teaching them how to manage their own emotions so they don't make decisions that have long lasting consequences. Okay. All right. Thank you again for tuning in. I am excited about what is happening. And so this is what I call the LA show. And it's all about relationships. All about relationships. And so I want you to stay tuned. We'll come on every Sunday for the next couple Sundays. Again, it's just 21 days. So what you do in between this time is going to really determine what you get out of this process. Okay? So just understand that. And I will see you next week. I will see you next week. Tag someone.